up, everybody? This is your girl CC, where it begins magazine, and I got Ish in the building with us, but we got a special guest. I'm gonna let him introduce himself of who he is and what he does.
Okay, hey, my name is Mazi. People call me Mazi O because my last name is Oyo, so they just call me Mazi O. People get to know me, they call me Mazi, and I am a cinematographer, videographer, director, editor. For that, I like to say I'm your favorite rapper's favorite director.
Okay, well, what motivated you to be a director?
I actually stumbled upon it. It was accidental. It wasn't something that I intentionally wanted to do. I used to be wannabe rapper like a lot of people back in the days. So I thought I was going to be the next Jay-Z. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out the way that I expected it to. So I started dibbling and dabbling in video. I was watching, the home shopping networks where they be selling stuff on TV. I was sitting there in the house one day and they was like, hey, get this camera for only 3 payments of $25.99. So I was like, oh, that looks fun. And I bought it. And then I got some software from one of my brothers and I just started fooling around. I was like, wow, let me try this. And the first video I did was with Dylon from Making the Band. Okay. And I got so much great feedback that I was like, wow, this is what I should be doing. And I just stuck with it. So I didn't realize I had the talent for it until then.
Well, tell us a little bit about your journey and the roadblocks that you had building your business.
The journey has had a lot of highs, a lot of lows. It's difficult. I'm actually working on a course, like a video course for other people who are aspiring to be videographers and have some measure of success in the entertainment industry, doing stuff with celebrities. Mm-hmm. For me, I had to learn that the entertainment industry is very different from the normal everyday life and industry. A lot of the things that we take as normal, you just won't do in the entertainment industry. So when I do what I do, when I get into a job, when I get a gig, when I'm working with a client, I had to learn really quickly that as the camera person, as the camera operator, you're just supposed to be invisible. It's not, and sometimes I've worked with a lot of clients. I've worked with Akon, Cardi B, French Montana, Raekwon. I've worked with just about every major rap label in New York City. Wow. And, some of these people are people that I've listened to. I grew up listening to these people, but once you're on set, I can't, fan out. I can't be like, hey, can I get a picture with you real quick? You have to just do your job, act like it's nothing, and just stay focused. So that was one thing I had to learn. Then the next thing, as far as like hurdles, is you learn real quick, or you have to learn really quickly that you need to be better than the next person, especially now, like 2015 up to 2020, equipment started getting cheaper and cheaper. Everybody was able to get their hands on a camera. So you had to start learning how to separate yourself from other people with cameras. And that can be a hard lesson to learn, especially if you're juggling multiple jobs or you got other things going on in your life. And I've seen a lot of guys come and go, but if you stay persistent, you can't outlast the others. So hurdles have been like just trying to get in where you fit in, as they say.
Okay, I love that. But I see that you're working on a project, Trap House. Can you tell us more information about it and what motivated it?
Woo! Trap House is gonna be good. I'm not one of them people that are into hyping things up, but Trap House is gonna be good. So
you gotta get WIP the exclusive over here.
So Trap House, the name is a little bit not what you expect. It's a lot of what you don't expect. But basically, Trap House is the story of a woman who was trapped in somebody's house. And it is basically a horror slash thriller. And what motivated me to put that project together is that there are a lot of horrors by Black people. And then some of them that you do see, they tend to be a little cheesy, they tend to be corny. So I wanted to get into that. I've done stuff, I've done a lot of rap music videos. I've done storylines inside of rap music videos. I've done things that are all centered around being gangster, shoot 'em up, drug dealer, and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to do something that was outside of that. But I like the idea that the name kind of implied that, when a person hears, oh, did you see that movie Trap House? They're going to think, oh, it's a drug dealing movie or something like that. They're going to think about, people who hustling. But when you watch it, you'll see, oh, it has nothing to do with that. It's a woman who's trapped inside of a house. She's been abducted. And the whole part one is all about her trying to get out of the house. And I just felt motivated to do it because at the time I was thinking about, what do you call it? The abductions that were going on inside of Georgia. That was a big thing. I think last summer or the summer before that, everybody was talking about, these sex trafficking and stuff like that. So that kind of inspired me. And then also when I saw, they got this movie called Paranormal Activity. And just watching it from a creative standpoint, me being a director, just watching how they were able to create this phenomenon with minimal special effects, I should say. They did a lot of playing with people's senses. When you watch the movie, your eyes are wide open, your ears are wide open. You're like really trying to figure out what's going on, what's the next move, and you're like on the edge of your seat. So Trap House has some elements like that. It has a few elements where you're just, you're looking for something. Wow, did I hear something? Did somebody move? Wait, what was that? So I wanted to combine those elements right there. And then I wanted to, work with a all Black cast, me being a Black director, Black writer. I got Black producers working on it. So I just wanted to give people a variety, besides just the regular shoot 'em up, bang, bang stuff.
Okay, I can't wait to watch it. But out of all the films that you've done, which one is the most inspiring to you or your favorite?
So I've worked on a handful of independent films. I worked on one with, I have a family member. I come from a huge family, so I got family doing all types of stuff, music and films, books, all type of things. So I worked with a family member on a movie called Brotherly Love. Excuse me. That was about some kids out in Philly, and it was a great project to work on. It was a great project to be a part of. That one had had a lot of people in it. It had Kiki not Wyatt. I always mix the names up. It had Kiki Palmer. It had Romeo. You seen that? Yeah. So that one was great because I really learned a lot. That was pretty much my first. Actually, that was my second movie, but that was the first movie that actually came out. So I had worked on a project called Brooklyn Bread. I worked on another project called Playtime, which was a dating movie. And then I worked on two projects after that, one called 99 Problems. But Brotherly Love was great because it was a way bigger budget than the other movies that I worked on. And there was a lot of magic going on. I was still kind of new because shooting music videos and shooting movies and shooting TV and shooting documentaries, they seem like they're all the same, but they have differences in them. And you can be an expert in music videos and not know a damn thing about shooting a television show. So that was a really great experience for me to learn and then to network and meet a lot of people. So that one was good for that reason. I just did a pilot episode for a show called Shepherd Ave. It's new. It's going to be on, I believe it's Damon Dash has a network, so it's going to be on Damon Dash's network, and it's about this principal who basically turns around this school, or he's the guy who has to keep this school in order because it's just wild and crazy. So probably something kind of like that Lean On movie from back in the days with Morgan Freeman. But a lot of projects, sometimes even writing little stories that people use to put inside of their music videos mean a lot to me as well. Anything I get behind the camera for means a lot to me.
Okay, and congratulations. Definitely on that. But I see you wearing a shirt. Let's talk about your clothing brand. Tell us about it.
That's right. See, blackity black. You know what I mean? That means I'm black. Yeah, you see I'm black, but I'm blackity black. That means if you mess with me, I'll flip this table over. You understand what I'm saying? Be careful. I'm not one of those, oh, he's one of the good guys. Yeah, I'm a good guy, but just don't mess with me, okay? So yeah, I have a clothing line, Black Boulevard,
Okay.
And I started Black Boulevard in 2019. It was end of the year 2019 I started it, and the motivation behind Black Boulevard and the name was I had often heard about this city, this town that Black people had created back in the days called Black Wall Street. Mm-hmm. And it was just like this self-sufficient area of just Black excellence and so on and so forth. So I'm one of those people that you can call a serial entrepreneur. I'm always taking the money I make from videos and flipping it into other things. So I decided I wanted to do clothing, and that basically was my inspiration. I was looking for a good name, and I don't even remember how I stumbled on it. I think it was like, I knew I wanted to have Black. I knew it needed to be Black. I needed people to understand the power of Black, and I wanted Black in it. And when you think about a street, or you think about the Black culture, the Black community, it's like we get fresh, we get fly, and we go out on the block. You know what I mean? Or when we go out, especially in New York, because I'm originally from New York, you would go out to Times Square, or you go out to Nostrand Ave in Brooklyn, or you go to Jamaica Ave in Queens. Like, you would get fresh, you would get drip, you would get fly, whatever word you use, that's where you would go and do it. So I wanted something that represented that. And you have the street, you have the block, but then you have the boulevard, which is much bigger than all of that. And then anywhere you go, there's going to be a boulevard, So I wound up putting those two words together, and there you go.
All right. Well, tell us some of your goals. What's your where are you planning to be in the next 3 years?
The next 3 years, that's a good one. Well, I want to start doing more documentaries.
Okay.
I've been lucky that the work that I've done as a videographer and director has allowed me to travel the world. And there's just so many stories that can be told. Even if you just start here in America, like a lot of things that are going on with within the Black community, a lot of the issues that we have with ourselves and those outside of our community, I think they need to be captured. I think if you want to educate people on a whole, then TV, movies is the medium that can be used. Music and television have a major influence that people don't realize. So I want to start doing and creating content that is not too preachy, but definitely educational. So you'll be able to watch it. For instance, like the movie by Jordan Peele, Get Out. It was a horror. But it had little jewels all throughout the movie. Like that movie, to me, it's one of my favorite movies because it kind of created its own genre. It kind of created its own category because it was so genius that you can be this entertaining and this educational and subliminal at the same time. So in a few years, like you said, in the next 3 years, I would like to have created several documentaries, and then also some projects that are not necessarily documentaries, but maybe biopics, tell some stories that, are just encouraging and enlightening. There's a million stories to tell about, even like I'm in Atlanta right now. In Atlanta, the whole what do you call it, strip club culture, the whole the gun culture, being, Georgia's, it's like it's a gun state. So everybody and their mama got guns, Me coming from New York, that was kind of shocking to me to just see people walking around with guns. But there's a story in that. How did Georgia become that type of state? Then also Georgia, besides this last election, Georgia being a red state, how is it to be a Black person living in a red state? It's just so many stories that can be told. So basically that's what I want to do. I want to talk about just things that can help our culture. One of the things that are dear to me is the relationship between Black men and Black women. Like, why do we seem to have so many problems with one another? And how do we solve that? How do we fix that? How do we speak about the things that need to be spoken about without us offending one another? So I want to do a lot of projects on that as well. And then on top of that, I want Black Boulevard to be, the go-to clothing line.
Go-to clothing. Okay, I gotta get me one of those shirts.
Of course.
But what is your favorite film?
Get Out is one of my favorite films. Black Panther is definitely up there. Avatar by James Cameron is one of my favorites. I also love the NWA movie. It was something about that movie that was another movie that was shot great. You know what it is the fact that they took a group who called themselves niggas with attitudes, and they turned that into an underdog story that went mainstream. You would have never been able to convince me that some rap group called Niggas with Attitude would be in the movie theaters and making like crazy sales. So when I see things like that, it's like, wow, this is great. So that's another one. But probably one of my top movies is the Social Network, which is the Facebook movie. The way that they shot that, like I said earlier, me being a creative person, a cinematographer, I look at certain things like lighting. I look at how stories blend together. I listen to dialogue, setting, and that movie is like perfect. I can watch that movie over and over and over again. So.
Okay. I got 2 more questions for you. So what makes a great film for you?
I think a great film, one thing that makes a film great is the ability to take a person and remove them from their reality. If you could sit and watch a movie and completely forget that you're, sitting in a room or sitting in an office or sitting on a plane, and you're just caught completely in it, that is the number one thing that's great. Like, you remove a person, you allow a person to take a break from their real world. Number two is the ability to evoke emotion. Making somebody laugh, that's good. Hysterical, rolling on the floor, tears coming out of their eye, laughing, that's good. Okay. But if you can make somebody cry, that is just like that, something in what you wrote and what you showed reached inside of that person and it touched them, because we don't all just walk around crying. But if you can get me to sit there and start going like this and like, oh man, right. then you did a great job. A movie that was like that for me was, there's been a couple, I can't remember the older ones, but a recent movie was When They See Us by Ava DuVernay, the movie about the Central Park 5 kids. That movie was touching as hell. They did an incredible job. So to me, films that can remove you from your reality and films that can get an emotion out of you, Those are really good movies.
Okay. So what advice can you give to others that want to be a director?
What advice would I give? I guess the first thing I would give is get a tough skin, get a thick skin.
Okay.
Don't be discouraged, because you can be told no 100 times about stuff. I've walked up to artists and said, "Hey, let me shoot your next video," and they'd be like, "No," not even knowing what I can do. They'll just be like, "Nah," and then it's like later on, or I've been on set where, everybody, I'm not famous, I'm not Spike Lee, so people don't know my work unless someone shows it to them or unless I show it to them. So I've been places and people think, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing," or, whatever, things like that, things that come across discouraging. You just have to have a thick skin. That'll be the first thing. And then the second thing would be to never stop learning, like really figure out how to be best at your craft. And sometimes that involves practicing, that involves doing stuff. Oh, wait, matter of fact, let me take some of that back. The first thing would be, do not try to do it for money, okay? If you're going into it for money, find something else, because I probably shot dozens of videos before I got my first paid check. And I think the first video I've ever done that I got paid for, I was paid $50. Did a music video and I earned $50 to shoot the music video. Then it took a while and I just steadily kept building. So those are the 2 pointers that I would give. Well, 3. Don't do it for money, never stop learning, and have a thick skin. Learning is probably the major thing. Keep studying the craft. Like, I love watching YouTube videos on new equipment, on new ways to shoot things. I was just watching a video last night on how to shoot even more cinematically, because there's just new techniques and stuff like that come out. I even went to school. I took some classes. I take classes all the time. I love to learn. So I'll take a few dollars, pay for some classes, and just try to learn about lighting, about green screen, about directing actors, on how to do things. It's just a constant learning process. So that's what I would give. That's the type of advice I would give. Keep learning.
Well, is there anything else you want to tell the audience? Any upcoming events or projects?
Black Boulevard, go to the website, BLACKBLVD.com. Go to the Instagram, same thing. Just put a "the" in it, because people have been trying to steal my name. So it's like, we are the Black Boulevard. We're not just the Black Boulevard. So the Black Boulevard on Instagram, theblackboulevard.com. We have Trap House coming out, which is going to be great. You're going to see some Black Boulevard gear in there. Let me see what else we got going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. I do app development. There's going to be some documentaries coming out. I want to tackle Black beauty and the beauty standards in America. Like, it's so much. Just follow me.
Okay. Well, you got a new fan over here, so. But
thank you.
Thanks for interviewing with us today. And continue
No
your
Thanks
grind. I can't wait to check out the movie.
Okay. Get you a cameo or something.
I'm down for it. I'm down for it. All right.